I made a massive mistake with my tiny house. There's one item in my tiny house I thought was so cool that just created a whole lot of other problems for me. And as a result, I'm probably gonna have to tear up some of my flooring. I didn't account for how big of a factor moisture was gonna play in my structure when I built this place. With 2 adults in a space less than 160 square feet, it has proven to be a problem. I'd seen condensation building up on some of the windows, and I tried to take actions to reduce it. I added charcoal to absorb some moisture, I added plants to suck up some of the water from the air, and I've just been trying to breathe less. So I'm kidding about the last one. But the other 2 things definitely helped, just not enough. When I built this place, I opted against a small wood stove. I don't have trees on my property yet. I also like the idea that eventually I could run my entire house off electricity that I generated on my own property. Wood stoves are known for drying out the air in a home, whereas my HVAC unit is not. This past winter has been really wet here in Washington, like always. But this was my first winter in the tiny house. I didn't realize how much of the moisture was soaking into my large stuffed sack couch. I love this couch. Unlike most tiny houses, I had a lounging area that actually looked comfortable. My couch wasn't a storage box with a cushion on top of it like you see in so many designs. We were cleaning out the house and I went to move the couch, and that's when I saw the water damage. The floor was ruined. The bamboo planks were rated to be water resistant, but not soaked in water all winter. Our stuffed sack had been acting like a giant sponge, just absorbing all of the humidity from our home and soaking it into the floor and the surrounding trim boards. There was a white substance in between some of the cracks of the floorboards, and a dark mold had just started forming on some of the trim. During the build, I spent about a week installing this floor all by myself. I had been so meticulous about making sure it looked perfect and didn't get scratched during construction. Floating floors are relatively easy to fix, but I had glued the planks to the subfloor to keep it from moving around during its transit to our homestead. This made what would be a simple repair job a huge pain. I have a spare box of flooring, but tearing out the flooring while we're living in it in the middle of winter just isn't going to happen. We cleaned the area with bleach and I'll be replacing the trim boards. The floor seems salvageable, but some of the coating on it actually bubbled up from the water damage and really looks like crap now. So I guess it's time to shop for a rug. Ironically, my girlfriend wasn't a fan of the stuffed sack sofa and has been wanting to get rid of it for a while. I thought we'd use this space a lot more for watching movies on the projector, but we rarely use it. Even though she'd wanted it gone, my girlfriend was pretty sad to see its demise like this. Unfortunately, with the water damage, we can't keep the stuffed sack in the house and risk it growing mold. Instead, we'll be adding a small table and chairs and covering the floor with a rug. I may use the leftover butcher block from my countertop to craft a table that actually hinges down from the wall so that we can collapse it down if we want more space. While I'm disappointed that this happened, it could have been so much worse, and I'm really glad that we caught it when we did. This is the first home I've ever built, and there's been a lot of learning lessons along the way. Moisture control being the latest one. I'm thankful the price point on this build was relatively low compared to many of the tiny homes I see advertised today. While damaging my tiny house sucks, none of the materials were that expensive, and I can fix it. Had this been a more expensive house, I'd have been pretty upset. Hopefully we can get this all fixed up and make it into a better functioning space. Subscribe to my channel and follow along as we set up a permaculture homestead and showcase some of our solutions to living a more sustainable lifestyle. If you want to see more videos of this tiny house, check out the links in the description where I have videos on how it was built and the interior layout.